Good morning, good evening, good day, good afternoon, whatever the time of day it is, welcome to the first ever episode of Hogan's Alley.
Woo!
I'm Terry Brown. You might have guessed already. If you've met me at all, you might recognise my dulcet tones. And I'm joined with my co-host.
I'm Ryan Anthony. I am part of the Crokinole UK team as well, with Terry here and a few others. And yeah, we kind of just thought we'd get together and put some of our ramblings in audio format, didn't we?
Yeah. Don't worry though; it's not going to take up too much of your time.
It'll be worth it.
Yeah, well, tempting as it is to go for the long form interview, um, I wouldn't pay to hear me interviewed, and I'm no disrespect, mate, but you wouldn't be in my top 10 either.
I can ask some good questions, surely. We'll find out.
It's the quality of the answers that I was worried about.
Yeah, fair. That's fair.
So why we're doing this is for a number of reasons. Most of you listening to this will have met Ryan or I or be aware of us. We're all about community, trying to just grow the scene, just grow a group of good people that look out for each other, that come together a few times a year and have great fun and play some crokinole and have a few beers. So if there's another way that we can get you involved or keep you engaged, then, maybe you prefer to listen to us than read about it.
Yeah, and maybe if you're not sure about coming along to an event, you're having to gives a little window into how Crokinole UK runs, how tour events run, the good time you'll have if you come along to something. And maybe you'll get to meet some of the characters from the community as well along the way, different people who will pop in to make guest appearances and hopefully have a good laugh along the way with us as well.
Yeah, and more importantly, it's easier than typing stuff out for me. So,
Yeah.
if I've got a message to get across, this is going to be a great platform for me. So, thanks for putting up with that.
There's one thing I'd say, Terry, you don't struggle to speak, so I'm sure we'll be fine.
You should have seen me yesterday. Anyway, that's why we're doing it. We're going to aim to do this as often as we've got something to talk about, really. Now, so what? There's 6 events in the UK tour. There's maybe going to be another 2 or 3 other things kind of happening around about that aren't quite tour events, but we'll support as much as we can. And we're interested to hear from anyone out there that's running just a little local league.
Absolutely, yeah. And anyone who's kind of doing anything that's scene related, adjacent, people making boards or whatever it could be, we think that might be of interest. If we've got something to say about it, we'll probably just jump on and put an episode out, won't we?
So Ryan, we've not long, maybe it is a bit long now, but in my mind, we've not long finished the first season.
We've not recovered.
Well, maybe that's it. Aye. Maybe it was a while ago. I just need a longer break.
Yeah.
Just wondering your reflections on it, man. Give me a couple of highlights.
I think the notable highlight was definitely the events that were ours that we ran for the first time. So the 3 standalone events that were away from the conventions. I think the support we had for those was wicked. I think that was a real kind of boost to what it was that we were doing. It sort of showed we were providing something that the community were asking for. So I think that was really cool. St Albans was bonkers. It was a long day with the doubles and the singles tournament. But man, Mike ran it like an absolute machine, and with the support of his family and stuff, that was brilliant. And everybody seemed to have a really good time there. So that I think was a good one. And the Masters I thought was just a lovely atmosphere all day. I think that was a great event. I really enjoyed both of those thoroughly, for sure. What about yourself?
Unable to comment on St Albans last year. While I know Graham and Matt and Duncan came down last year from Scotland and brought some boards and stuff. I couldn't make it, but I'm booked up this year, so really looking forward to going to it. It comes as no surprise to me that Mike run it like an absolute regimental display.
It was impressive.
Because, he's got a skill set.
Yeah, I'm expecting a whistle this year to mark the end of the rounds.
It's giving
have a look
in the percussion section of the local music store and see what I can come up with. But I'm totally up for bringing someone down for that. Maybe not a whistle.
Maybe not. Massive symbols.
Yeah. And, highlight for me was so many. Honestly, man, just every event that I went to was just like a beautiful experience. Yeah, they were quite stressful and all the rest of it at times, but yeah, no, just getting through it,
Yeah.
running 3 tournaments in that tour, um, helping out the UK's. Yeah, yeah, just getting through it, getting it done. I think was my highlight.
It was good as well because obviously there's those of us who are organising the tournaments. It was an opportunity for us all to kind of get to know each other a bit more and deliver things and sort of improve throughout the season as well. I thought that was kind of nice and might not be stuff that maybe even anybody would have noticed, but certainly from the logistical kind of behind the scenes point of view of it, it definitely seemed to we found our groove, didn't we, as the season was going on, which was nice.
Yeah, yeah, you guys did, yeah.
Oh, you did as well. I mean, you were a dab hand already, Terry. That was the thing. We were learning from you, so
Oh, Jesus, we're in trouble. um, there was a couple of kind of moments throughout the year as well that just kind of struck me as like, oh my god, I wish that didn't happen. Aircon, and I'll put out an apology right now, and I've probably said this to many people anyway, on the day, even. But you know, we were slack there just because we didn't have the entry list until the
mm,
11th hour. It was a bit difficult, and that's not anyone. You know, that's not me having a dig at anyone. It's not like Aircon's fault or my fault or anyone's. It's just what it was.
I think
But I
I think
know
they
they.
sorry.
No, I was just going to say I know they really value the tournament there. There might be a chance that the final and knockout games next season or this season are held in a slightly more prestigious part of the building. I can't say any more than that at the moment.
Yeah, I
But
think
yeah, yeah, that was the one kind of thing that stuck with me a bit. Like it was just like that wasn't as good as it could have been.
I think they've acknowledged a little bit more of the interest in that, which is again, like you say, it's not a slight on them at all. But I think the more buy-in we get from the events where we're part of something bigger, it does make our life easier, obviously, because we're volunteering our time to kind of get these things done. So if they buy into it, that's great. Yeah, I mean, they're potentially, like you say, could be really exciting for what's going to happen with that next year. So
Yeah,
it'd be cool to see if that comes off. But
I think it
what?
will.
Yeah,
I
I think
think
so as
it
well.
will. Mark Cook's a good guy. He's made some very, very, very positive noises about things. So I think we could have something a little bit special on our hands there.
I think aircon's cool as well. The atmosphere at aircon's always nice because you get a real mix of people who've come to play Crokinole and more people who've come to just play board games and give it a try. And I think
Yeah.
this year there was a few families there with kids, and the kids
Yep.
were desperate to play, which is great, you know. And that side of aircon, I think, is really special. That kind of makes it stand out as a bit more unique in terms of an event. So the more attention it can get, I think, even better.
Yeah, I love that at Aircon and at Tabletop Scotland, where
Mm,
we've got those open kind of play, just rock up sessions.
yeah,
And it's just, I know that I'm putting that on and I'm relying on the people that are listening to this, probably about half of them. I'm relying on to help out on the day. And
sure,
year after year, event after event, they do. And it's a blessing.
yeah, that's good. So I said I was going to pick out some notable performances from last season for you to kind of judge as well.
Is that
Um,
is that the way we're running with it? I mean, the,
well,
the
you
true
sent me
story
the
is I sent you the show notes about a week ago, and one of the bullet points was notable performances from last season, and you've done some prep for it, but I've not.
wait. I was trying to help you save face there. There we go. There we
I
go.
think I think it's a bit late for that, buddy.
Well, yeah, you're very honest. There we go. So I picked out a few names of people who I thought maybe outside of the initial top 10 or so, who maybe were, with the exception of maybe RP, were kind of obvious contenders to be up there.
Yeah, yeah. So
Unusual
notable
names.
performances. Yeah, we're not going to be like bigging up Tom Curry or
Yeah, he's had enough. He's had enough attention. It's fine.
he's got
Um,
his prizes.
Yeah, exactly. So a few names that kind of jumped out to me when I was looking back over the performances of the season. So someone who I first met at St Albans and then met in the Masters, like on the other side of the board as well, was Tom Lawton. So he
Tom's
was
a
kind of
solid player.
really solid player, kind of coming out this season. I think he came to 4 events in all.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
player.
I want to say he signed up for the Grand Prix. I
Cool.
might be wrong.
That's good.
I'm pretty sure he has.
He was 13th overall, but a solid player, and you could definitely see him potentially pushing on and becoming a difficult. He's hard to play against. He's a good
Yeah,
player.
yeah.
So Tom was very good.
No, I think that one's a great shout. And another thing I'll say about
Hmm,
Tom is he's always very willing to get the pints up,
there you go. There you go.
which
Extra
is,
extra
double thumbs
ticks.
up in my book.
Yeah, exactly. Um, an obvious one again, maybe who didn't come to enough events to score in the final standings, but Harry Rowe, good solid player.
Are we just leaving it at Harry or?
Well, he's the one who scored the most. So for the Rowe brothers in general, I think good players,
Yeah.
nice guys as well.
I've only spoken to them briefly, maybe
Yeah,
at Expo.
very chill. Yeah, nice guys, but good players again. It'd be cool to see them maybe get to a few more events. That would be nice, I think.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Every report I hear about them is what you've just said. Like really good players, really nice guys. Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Now
Yeah,
as a TLDR, that's like,
yeah, you couldn't ask for much more, I don't think.
yeah.
So they, I think, definitely potential standouts there. I think one who did emerge and won the board at Aircon was Chris Griffin. So
That's
he's from my neck of the woods.
And he did see he's one of my favorite people I met last year.
Yeah, there you
He's a
go.
lovely, lovely guy.
Lovely guy and improved massively between
Yes.
Aircon and then the Masters and then the UKs. And I was like, okay,
Yes.
he's dedicating a lot of time to getting better at it, which was really cool to see. And of course, he's got himself a board, but it turns out he lives like 5 miles from where I grew up. So the fact we'd kind of like, bumped into each other at Aircon and then met at previous subsequent events was really cool. But he's got potential to be a really good player, I think.
Yeah. I think he could be in the mix.
I mean, he came 22nd, and his first tournament was Aircon this year.
Oof.
Not bad. That's
Yeah.
not bad, is it?
That's when you put it like that, that is solid work.
Yeah. And then my final one is, I think you met her, was Katie Hunter Choate.
Yes, she's an absolute legend.
Fantastic.
She approaches life with the enthusiasm of a puppy dog, but I just think no, she's great. She's great.
Yeah, good and a decent player as well. Like
Yeah.
emerging through, and I think just in terms, like you said, the notable performances were not just about who played well, but kind of who was new into the community or newer people into tournaments and stuff like that. And I think those names kind of just stood out to me all the way through as kind of players who were really good, like you say, good energy, good vibes, and have potential maybe to push on and become more difficult to play against in the best kind of way. There are many other names I could probably pick out from the list as well. I did notice a few others, but those ones I kind of thought were some potential standouts who probably deserved a bit of a mention.
No, yeah, I probably did Kate a disservice there by describing her as an over enthusiastic puppy. What I
She's a
meant by that was she approaches she she just comes across as really genuine, like with an enthusiasm for life. Always really willing to bring a board. Like apologize that she couldn't bring a board to the GP because she's driving or getting the train, and I'm like, well, of course you wouldn't bring a board on the
Yeah, no,
train.
she was a great addition to the community, I think. My favourite was when she rocked up to the Masters. She's like, "My board is in a sleeping bag. Is that okay?" We're like, "Yeah, that's fine. That's a great way to carry a board." So
Brilliant.
that was great.
Gotta love it.
Yeah.
And on that thought, here's a quick word from our sponsors. In 1970, an innocent child was born. He avoided a spell in Barstow for a crime he probably committed. Now plying his trade in the Crokinole underground, he survives and tales of his Grand Prix win. If you have an open 20 problem, And if you can find them, maybe you can hire the Bebop.
The preceding advert does not constitute legal or medical advice. Use the bad boy of Crokinole as directed. Please remember to Crokinole responsibly. Warning, Crokinole UK does not endorse the use of hired guns in competition play. Remember, there are lots of players in Scotland, but none of them are any good.
Thank you, as always, for the message from our sponsors. We really appreciate their consideration.
It's nice to get the focus of such interesting organizations.
Yeah, there you go. If you're interested in sponsoring the podcast, we will definitely listen, and we will take basically no money. So that'll be fine.
Oh, no money will change hands. I mean, let's face it, it's not advertising.
We can't guarantee that adverts will be positive. That is the problem.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about previewing the upcoming season. Effectively, we'll focus in a little bit on the Grand Prix in Scotland, particularly, because that's the first event. But to kind of give you a rundown of how the season's going to look, it's effectively the same format as last year with the 6 events. The major difference being that Wales has moved from South Wales in the valleys up to Wrexham in North East Wales. That's going to be taking place in October, and the Grand Prix in Scotland's a little bit later than it was last year as well. But
yeah, the Grand Prix moved now to Edinburgh instead of Perth.
Yeah.
Which is all just to do with stuff about venues and Tabletop Scotland and all that good stuff. Essentially, they found the best option at the best time of year that they could.
It looks like a good venue, to be fair, and it is closer to transport hubs and stuff like that, so it does probably make access a little bit easier generally for a lot of people, I guess.
I can't imagine a better accessible event for transport, regardless of where you are in the world. So the Royal Highland Centre, where Tabletop Scotland will take place this year, is at right next to Edinburgh Airport, on the outskirts of Edinburgh. So if you get there by train, you can just get off at Waverley Station, go up the escalator at Princes Street, and hop on a tram right out to the airport. If you get off by the airport or one stop before, you'll be along at the RHC in 5 or 10 minutes.
Perfect. And obviously flying in, that's
it's quite easy. That
easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oddly.
If you don't know, you could parachute maybe.
Maybe. I wouldn't want to parachute with a Crokinole board.
Are you sure?
Extra ballast.
It's gonna, it's got quite a lot of wind resistance.
I see. Okay, glide in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe if you had it at the kind of fulcrum of the parachute.
Yeah, maybe.
Is that what it's called? There's always a little circular bit at the top of the parachute where all the bits come up.
I think if you do that, you automatically win. I don't think I don't think it's fair to make you compete if you parachute in with a Crokinole board.
I can safely say, after consultation with the tournament organizer, that if you do that, then you might not win, but there's going to be a very, very special prize waiting for you
at the bar
on your arrival. Yeah, probably. Yeah, but I mean, it will be special.
No doubt. I have absolutely no doubt that that'll be the case. So, do you want to talk us a little bit through the day? Kind of what can people expect? Maybe a little bit about the format and some of the things that makes the Grand Prix particularly unique.
Okay, I'll try, and I'll try and keep it brief, because I have been doing the go on at length. He says, trying to keep it brief. Sakes. Right, anyway. Right, so the GP is going to follow a loose kind of format of the Masters from last year. So there'll be seeded groups. You'll play a round robin. Then the top X will go through to Pool A. The next X will go through to Pool B, C, D. If you don't want to play in the second session, that's fine. We'll accommodate that, and you just won't play. It'll then do final fours, blah blah blah. But that's not the good stuff about the GP. The good stuff about the GP is the first round. Okay, so you've got the seeded round, so there'll be like newbies, there'll be guys like me, there'll be guys that are good at the game, there'll be the whole range of people in that group, or skill levels, whatever you want to call it. People, skill levels. Let's stick with people, actually. People's better. There'll be a whole range of people Because that's what this game is about. It's about people, not results.
Yep.
That's what I tell myself anyway. So during that first round, it is mandatory to shout, "Top Crokes!" whenever your opponent pulls off a ridiculous shot. So like, the triple takeout round the house is going off 7 pegs and then it's linking into the hole. It's doing something like that. Or you just like get that massive follow through 20. Oh, baby. Top Crokes, mandatory shouts. Okay, so it kind of just pings off and everyone's like, "Whoa!"
I reckon there'll be plenty of that being shouted.
I think there could be more than ever this year.
Yeah, that's what we like to hear.
The difficulty is knowing when to stop in the second round, because the second round gets a bit more serious
Or-
and people don't necessarily want someone shouting Top Crokes next to them.
Or people still shouting it on Sunday.
Well, yeah, but it echoes long and clear
True.
in Scotland. Right, so there's that, and there's going to be jackpots. The return of jackpots that I filthy stole off of Jay Malloy at the Extra Pint Club in Voorheesville, upstate New York.
Mhm.
So bring an extra fiver if you're coming. There'll be 5 jackpots that are available during the first round robin only, and everyone that puts into the jackpot will have the chance of winning this thing, and it's a skill-based thing. Well, some of them are skill, some of them are chance. So there's going to be 5 targets for you to hit for the jackpot. So it could be get a perfect game, so sink in 8 of your buttons. So your opponent's going to have to play pretty well as well. First person to sink 8 buttons, jackpot. Which jackpot? Perfect round. You get the idea.
Yeah.
There's going to be some, and there'll be a luck-based ones of a piggyback where, discs are just resting right on top of each other. Really happens, but if you do that, then you'll win a share of the jackpot, and same as last year, any unclaimed money, unclaimed prize funds will just go to the convention charity this year, which is Alzheimer's Scotland.
Brilliant.
I almost said I couldn't remember what the name of it was there.
Oh,
But then my brain just kicked in just in time, because that would have been
yeah.
been poor.
No, I think that's really good, and I think that gives it a really kind of unique flavour, that jackpots thing. And of course, ultimately, you're contributing to potentially a charitable cause as well, which is great. So I think, that's a great addition to any tournament, but particularly the GP, I suspect.
I hope so. I know Steve did it in the Valleys last year.
He did, I think, yeah.
Unfortunately, that was the other one I couldn't go to. I am remedying Wales and St Albans this year.
It's a bit closer this year.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a change.
Yeah.
Well, Scotland's nudged up
A bit further.
in September. It used to be the last weekend in October, of course, which is the month before September. It used to be the last weekend in August, but it's been bumped back a week just because of the change of city, the change of venue, and you probably don't want to just travel up to Edinburgh for a Crokinole tournament in August.
No, because
Most
of the
expensive
festival.
time of the year in Western Europe.
Yeah, that's fair. I think personally, I love Edinburgh as a city anyway. So I think any excuse to kind of get up there, the addition of Tabletop Scotland to a potential trip, I think, is a wonderful addition. And if the fact you can play some great Crokinole, I think just cherry on top of the icing on top of the cake, I think, for that kind of trip. So I think anybody who's going up to that event is going to have a fantastic time, definitely a good weekend, and I think it'll just be great.
I mean, if you don't have a fantastic time, then I'll probably give you your money back.
It probably says more about you than the event.
Or claim to have given you your money back already.
Yeah.
Take your pick. Well, one of them might happen.
That's awesome. No, that's good. So I think kind of going forward, what we're going to try and do is do a review of an event after it happens. So post the GP, we'll try and get together again, have a chat about the event, and then preview the next event. In this instance, it would be the Crokinole Clash in Wales. So I think that's kind of what we're going to try and do, isn't it, moving forward? So hopefully this has been of interest.
Yeah, hopefully we've got something tangible to talk about in terms of what we noticed at an event.
Yeah, results, good
and
players.
Stuff, and maybe interviews of people and stuff.
Yeah, that would be awesome. If you have any ideas about the kind of thing that we'd like to hear about in this podcast, we'd love to hear from you. And in addition to that, we're going to put the call out to the community that if you take part in music in any form, you've got a band, you're a solo artist of any kind, and you would like your track to feature as the closing song for the podcast, you can reach out to us via the Crokinole UK website, which is crokinoleuk.com. You can contact us through there. We've got a Discord, we've got an email address. You can even contact us through the Facebook group. We'd love to hear from you because we'd love to feature you on the end of this podcast. Give a bit of a spotlight to the community a bit more, because we know there's definitely some very talented people out there who would love to maybe be a part of what we're doing here.
Yeah. Get involved.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'd love to hear from you if you want to do that. And like I said, any ideas, anything you'd like to hear about, we'd want to hear from you. So for now, I've been Ryan.
I am Terry.
And this has been Hogan's Alley. We're going to put an explicit notification on this podcast, aren't we? You've got to flick it gently.